Hi, boys. Welcome to today's Tuesday Talks. And today I'm going to share with you guys birth stories. Um, Braden, you were our firstborn, obviously, and you were induced, but it was planned ahead. It wasn't because of any kind of complications. It was just the doctor, I guess, wanted to schedule it, and it worked out really well. I mean, Daddy, Nana, Grandma, they were all in the room with us, and everybody was able to ask for the day off and to be there for the birth. So the night before, Daddy and I went out to eat to Chili's, and then we got to the hospital about 10 p.m. And then they gave me a sleeping pill and did all the IV stuff and got me hooked up. And then in the morning, they started doing the pitocin. And when they started, wasn't dilated. I think I was dilated like 1 centimeter. And so after they gave me the pitocin, they set me on or had me lay on my right for 1 hour and then switch over to my left for 1 hour and then on my back for 1 hour. And after that, I was fully dilated and we were ready to go. So I had the epidural. We push, and it came out. I didn't feel anything. It was easy. I mean, I think you were born like right after noon. So we weren't even there for 12 hours and you were born. So and then we moved to our room and hung out for 3 days. They wouldn't let us leave any earlier than that because you were our first child and they wanted to be sure that we were ready. I guess. Daddy and I were so ready to go. Daddy stayed with me in the hospital the whole time. And so, yeah, by day 3, we were ready to get out of there. We didn't know how to use your car seat, so we put it in there. It was so tight on you. It was, yeah, stressful. That first drive home was stressful. But we made it. Everybody won. Everybody won. Everybody made it out. So, and then with Evan, he wasn't induced, so I had to start going into labor naturally, and I really didn't know what it felt like or what they told me they should be 4 minutes apart. The contractions, well, I thought that meant the end of one contraction to the beginning of another contraction. But in retrospect, I think it was from the beginning of one to the beginning of the next because I started going into labor the night before around 10 and I kept waiting for them to be 4 minutes apart and they weren't. And so pretty much I labored the whole time at home, and by the time we got in the car to leave, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning and you were crowning, like you were coming out. By the time we pulled up to the ER and they got me in the room and they weren't able to put in any kind of IV or anything like that. Epidural was out of the question. You were coming. So Daddy barely made it back from parking the car in time. It was 3 good pushes and Evan was out. So super easy. It was I'm pretty sure 16 minutes from when we arrived in the hospital until when you were born. Then we made it back to they took us to the maternity ward, and Evan's body temperature was lower than its normal. It wasn't 98.6, and they felt like that maybe was something to keep an eye on. So they put Evan in the NICU, which was super, super scary for Daddy and I. But yeah, I didn't get much sleep that time because you needed to eat every 2 hours, and so I'd sleep for like an hour, and then I'd walk back over to the NICU and take care of you, which surprised the nurses at the time. I guess that's not something that happens all the time, but since Jack and Claire was so early, I knew skin-to-skin contact was a good thing, so I wanted to be sure and get as much of that in as I possibly could. Maybe that helped. I'm not sure. But they let us all go after, I believe it was 2 days. And so, easy one there. And then with Dylan, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning that day, and I wasn't going back to sleep. I was for sure up, but I wasn't until about 6:30 that I was pretty sure I was going into labor. So I did all the dishes, started the dishwasher, put the clothes that were in the washing machine in the dryer, took a shower. And then Daddy got up. I told him I was pretty sure I was going into labor, but for him to take Braden to school, and then when he got back, we'd go to the hospital. And of course, it was a huge fight, but eventually I won. And so we got to the hospital about 8:30, and they didn't really seem to think that I was in labor. I knew I was. But so they took me back to check how dilated I was, and I was a full 10 centimeters, so they got me in the room. They did get the IV in, but I didn't want an epidural that time because I didn't enjoy that. And then, yeah, you were born at 9 a.m. And that one I definitely felt, though. I didn't labor as much at home, so that one hurt, but it was pretty quick. I mean, it wasn't terrible. And then we went to the maternity ward, and after 2 days, or actually they kept me there 3 days again. And I was fine with that. I was in no hurry to leave with Dylan after I had Dylan. It wasn't like when I had Braden and I was ready to get out of there. The food was much better in the third hospital, so maybe that had something to do with it. And also I had 2 other kids. So just taking care of the one in the hospital seemed it's a lot easier. But Daddy stayed with me in the hospital for all 3 of you guys' births, and it was good. You were easy. We didn't stay. I wasn't laboring more than a few hours. Braden was the longest because he was induced, but the other 2, nope, easy. So that's it. That's how you came into the world. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Also, my water did not break with any of you guys. They broke my water with Braden, since he was induced, but I don't even remember if they broke my water with any. So that water breaking in the movie thing, and that's how you know, and that's when it's time to go to the hospital. That's not how it be. Didn't happen with me. So just keep that in mind. Bye.